What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and welcome to another episode of the People's Questions, where I answer all the questions that you guys have sent me over the past week. And I must say, we have a much larger episode to deal with today, so I think that's a good thing, and I think we have maybe one or two newbies. So I'm glad to see that the People's Questions reach is expanding. The first question comes from the ReactingGamer, who showed a little bit of concern for me as from last week, and you want to know, am I alright? I look like I haven't gotten any sleep. Well, ReactingGamer, last Friday I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep, and I've just been stressed out over the entire situation. It has somewhat improved, but there's still a lot to do and just things that are taking up so much time, and I'm just under pressure to do things for you guys. And I will say this, the whole car situation has definitely improved. I mean, this is what the car looked like a month ago. I mean, it was totally wrecked. It was a complete surprise. I mean, I was at work when this happened. It just derailed so many things. And this is what the car looks like now. So, yeah, major improvement, but now I gotta work on registration and going to the DMV, and then I have to change ID, and then I have to worry about just so many things that are just taking up all this time, and I just wish I had a moment to myself to relax. And unfortunately, being stuck here in Vegas and having really no one to socialize with, hang out with, or do anything fun, you know, it does kind of put a lot of strain on me and it exhausts me. So yeah, that's kind of why I looked as terrible as I did last week. If not, I still look kind of terrible right now. So yeah. The next question comes from Cassidy Jay Williams. You want to know, do I agree with the filmmaker's decision to stick with practical makeup for the Hellboy reboot like the original movies instead of just using CGI? Look, it's their choice. Some people prefer practical effects, some people like CGI. I mean, I would say CGI at this point has gotten so good to the point where it kind of can look somewhat realistic. But if they want to go with practical effects, all the power to them. So yeah, I got no complaints. Next question comes from Santiago Scarpino. You want to know, which of my Versus series would I say was the easiest to make? Easiest to make? To be honest, I would either say my Sniper Wolf versus the End matchup was pretty easy to make, or one of the two new ones that technically, since this is Friday, I've already uploaded the first one, and now I'll be uploading the second one. I think one of those three matches was definitely the easiest in order to research, edit, and, you know, all the fun little things that happen in between. Next question comes from Yoda Date. You want to know, which Jedi lightsaber form would I use? I did a video on this where I entered a bunch of Star Wars questionnaire questions, and I did specifically say which forms I would practice. And the four that I would focus, I think, yeah, it would be four. It would be 1, 2, 3, and no, I take it back, it wasn't 1. It was 2, 3, 4, and 6. I wouldn't do 5, 7, and 1. Simply because I'd like 2 because it would help me with my dueling, and it gives me precision. 3 would back up my defense. 4 for speed. And then I would use 6 because the weapon that I would use, it's a unique weapon. I'd like to go more in depth with it, but it would take too much time. But it's a very unique type of lightsaber that I don't think I've seen any character in Star Wars use. But for me specifically, it's kind of inspired by something that XR Kun had done, but a little bit more sophisticated. The next question comes from the first newbie of the episode, going by the name of the Batman of Neo-Gotham, awesome name. And you want to know, have I ever played the prototype games with Alex Mercer and James Heller? And if so, do I plan on using them in a future cross-up matchup? No, I do not. I didn't really like Prototype all that much. I've played the first one, but I did not play the second one. And I think that both those characters are a bit too OP. And I know that the obvious opponent that people would like to see them fight is against the Infamous characters, but I just don't think that would be fair. And to be honest, I don't even have any plans for any matchups for next year. I just have the matchups that I have set for this year, and then I'm going to do something with the season finale, but as far as it stands right now, I have no plans on doing any matchups next year, but then, you know, that's up to the viewers and you guys to decide. The next question comes from Aul Serna. You want to know, why do I hate Tekken? I don't hate Tekken. I just think that Tekken's not for the big boys. I mean, it's not Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It's kind of like, it's like a fighting game I think is for I think it's like the fighting game that, like, not the top pros would play, but like mid-tier amateurs would play. It's like if you can't master Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, you would play something like a Tekken or Virtual Fighter or Dead or Alive, or hell, even Soul Calibur. I think those type of fighting games are much easier to play than something like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, which I think are much more sophisticated games that you really have to have some serious talent in order to go pro for those games. But heck, that's just me. I could be wrong. Next question comes from the All-Star Gamerpunk. You want to know, what are my top 5 favorite Christopher Nolan films? Oh, that's easy. Number 1 would be Inception. Number 2, The Dark Knight. Number 3, The Prestige. Number 4, Dunkirk. And number 5, Memento. Next question comes from the Immortal Super Being. You want to know, what do I think of Aqua's return and her being Shadow now, and by the look of it, having Mickey's Keyblade? I don't know. Kingdom Hearts plot is so confusing all over the place. I just want it to end and for it to make sense at this point. And who knows what'll happen in this game? I mean, they're throwing all these crazy spoilers that are just trying to throw us off. I just want to get my hands on it, beat it, and hopefully have the Kingdom Hearts franchise come to an end. The next question comes from Venom Rules All. You want to know, have I played any of the Mass Effect or Halo games, and if so, will we see them in Versus Series videos? Yes, I have played all of the Mass Effects and all the Halo games except for Reach and I think the 2 Halo War games. And the answer is no. I probably will not be using them in any sort of matchups in the future. I just don't know what I could do with them at that point. I mean, Master Chief's the only competent character you could use, and you know, outside a few characters in Mass Effect, I don't even know what matchups I would even put any of them in. So yeah, it's unlikely. Next question comes from Dr. Hino 419, and sorry, the sun's going down, that's why it got a little darker. And you want to know, out of all the posters that I have, which are my favorites? Believe it or not, when I moved here, I actually got rid of a good number of them, but I did keep the ones I think were framed and which ones I do plan on framing. But the ones that are still up, or I put up, are not really posters, they're scrolls. And the ones that are up right now is technically my Tower of Rachel, which is right over there. My skull of Tifa, which is over my bed, which is over there. And my skull of the movie style poster for Metal Gear Solid 4, which is over there. There are other framed posters, which I think I have, like a Dark Knight poster, Terminator, Inception. I think one of the extremely rare Metal Gear Solid 4 movie style posters. They're all in the closet on the wall here. I think when I move to a much bigger location, I'll put those in, but just here, I just don't think there's enough room. And the last question of the episode comes from Roy Mustang. He wants to know, 4 years ago I uploaded a video showing the weapons that I have from video game characters. I was wondering, do I still have them? Yes, I still have them. In fact, I've added maybe 1 or 2 real weapons to my collection. I mean, aside from the weapons I had in that video, I've added 2 lightsabers. I have my father's bow that has his initials on it. His machete that he used in Vietnam. And a Nerf gun, which I hope to paint because I want to use it for cosplay for the main protagonist from Titanfall 2, because I still have the helmet and there's actually a military store nearby, so I can actually get a lot of the gear, and maybe if I can, you know, go to a certain con and just find a way to repaint my new Nerf gun to make it look, you know, like it belongs in that universe, then I can pull off a pretty cool cosplay. So yeah, I think my weapons collection is actually slightly increased. And with that, those are all the questions that you guys have sent in for this particular episode. I'd like to thank all of you guys for making this episode possible. If you guys have any more questions you'd like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure you get them into me before next Wednesday, before it's filming the next episode, and try to get it before noon, because that's when I like to film, because that has the, you know, best sunlight. In case I have, for this episode I have to wait a little bit longer. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.